Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel and to today's class. I'm so grateful to have you here to work on our hips, doing a nice gentle yoga to open our hips up. I invite you to grab 2 blocks as we're going to use them today to really help us deepen into these stretches and surrender and relax. So grabbing that now, and maybe some water or anything else you might need. Rolling out your mat and beginning with me on the back of our mats. So at the back of our mats here, we're going to start in a child's pose, but I have multiple variations. So we're going to take the knees as wide as the mat, and we can just remain up high like this with our forearms on any level of the blocks, or you can move them in line with one another and use them as a bolster, sinking down onto them. Surrendering here, feeling this connection. Or if you feel you don't need any of that, simply sink down into child's pose, breathing here, connecting to ourselves, to our energy before we begin today. Showing yourself such love and compassion for being here. And if you want to go a little deeper, you can use your blocks under your hands, outstretched, and then sinking down. This will just take it a little deeper into the shoulders. Massaging your head side to side on the mat. Just completely letting go. Taking a few more breaths here. And then gently coming up, removing your blocks wherever they might be, off of the mat completely. Planting the hands, and we're going to meet in a downward dog. Tucking the toes, sending the hips up to the sky. Taking a few breaths here, pressing the shoulders down the back and away from the ears, feeling energy in the palms of your hands, as well as down the back of the legs through the heels. And though the heels might not touch, that's okay. The idea is to have that sensation of grounding through the back of the leg. Allowing energy to travel up and out the tailbone. Go ahead and lift the right leg up, bend the knee, opening the hip, and then bringing it forward into pigeon. So right knee to right wrist. And I'm going to show different variations you can take here with the blocks. So you can keep yourself lifted up, holding yourself up with the blocks at any level of your choice. If your hip is really up high, you can take one block and place it under your hip, and then maybe even taking the other block and placing it under the other leg, so both legs and hips are supported, and just placing the fingertips on the ground so that you can really release and let go. But if you're good with your pigeon, go ahead and just fold forward and sink down, completely surrendering in whatever version of this stretch you have. Releasing the hip, releasing any ego you might be holding onto yourself, forcing yourself into a pose your body simply doesn't wish to do. Recognizing this and honoring wherever it is you're at, that it is okay to listen to your body. Maybe notice any thoughts that arise. We hold so much stress and tension in the hips. It's part of the root chakra where we hold insecurities. So just breathe here and notice what might come up for you. Surrender to the thoughts and don't judge them. One more inhale. As you exhale, go a little deeper before slowly working your way up. We're going to take the back leg and move it all the way around. And I'm going to be real vulnerable with you guys here and coming into a log. I have extremely tight hips. And if you're like me, this is something like it would look like. The idea is to stack shin on top of shin, foot on top of knee, knee on top of foot. But if this is where you're at, like me, that's okay. Staying upright, gently pressing on the top knee. If you're able to be completely open and lay both knees flat on top of each other, shins aligned, I invite you to reach up to the sky now and fold forward over your legs. And if that is good and you want to go even deeper, you can bring your blocks under your hands in that fold forward and use them to help you deepen. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate this, but hopefully I'm guiding you through it. Breathing and honoring wherever you're at. Now gently we're gonna move into shoelace. So the idea here is to stack knee on top of knee. So scoot the right foot closer to your hip bone. Stack the left on top of the right, bringing that foot close to that hip bone. And your goal is to bring that foot all the way back if you can so that your knees can lay on top of each other. If your hips are tight like mine, just stay as I am. If you want to reach forward, you totally can. In whatever position you're at, using the blocks to come forward on. Or maybe you have the perfect alignment and you're just folding over your legs now, deepening it. Breathing through all the sensations you feel in this. Noticing if your mind wants to pull you out of it, tell it, no, I'm going to just continue to breathe here. Feel the stillness, feel the stretch, but also being aware and honoring yourself. You are right where you need to be. One more breath. And slowly removing any blocks or props you're using. Unbind the leg. Top leg goes all the way around, nice, gently and slowly, tucking the back toes, sending the hips up to downward dog. Pedaling out the feet here, releasing the knees, allowing yourself to feel the difference between the right and left, mentally preparing to take that all to the left side. So next inhale, exhale, send the leg up to the sky, bend the knee, and then bring it through. Left knee behind or at left wrist, dropping the leg down, remembering our variations, pulling our blocks over, holding ourselves up with the blocks, or propping under each hip or one hip, simply as so, or adding the next. Fingertips grounded. If you don't need any of these variations, I invite you to fold over your front leg. I surrender. I release. I release all that no longer serves me. I release judgment on myself and my body. I am right where I need to be. Remembering to breathe deeply into the stretch, connecting. One more deep inhale, exhale, deepening a little more wherever you're at, before slowly coming up, swinging the back leg around. We're going to take that fire log. So shin on top of shin, knee over foot, foot over knee. Right foot should be on top. Remembering that it's okay if you have a knee up, high. If you want to fold forward, you can. Noticing where you're at, honoring where you're at, and not pushing it, not taking it too far. Gently pressing down on the knee, feeling the stretch. Breathing into any sensations that arise, thoughts that come up. Releasing and letting go. And then just taking a few more breaths here, maybe adding even more pressure onto the knee. Gently and slowly transitioning our way into shoelace. So taking knee on top of knee, bringing the bottom foot towards the opposite hip, and same with the top foot. Your goal is to bring it towards your other hip, laying the knees on top of each other, but honoring, as I said, wherever you are at. Finding that position. Reaching up and sinking down if you want into a deeper stretch. And letting go. And just surrendering and being. you're ready, take the top foot, swing it all the way around, nice and easy, tucking the toes, meeting into downward dog, pedaling it out, noticing how everything feels now in the legs. Taking a breath and then sinking down onto the knees, we're going to come into a frog. So knees are going to be wide and you want to have your knee and ankle in a straight line. You can stay up high depending on how open your hips are, using your blocks, or use your blocks to sink down lower. If you don't need blocks at all and you're flat on the ground and you're very open, there is another option to take your blocks under each knee, so it'll lift you up and allow you to sink more and open deeper. But wherever you're at, recognize, honor, surrender to your body. Breathe. When you're ready, slowly bring your toes together, sit back, and we're going to come into a supported Supta Konasana using our blocks. So on the mid-level, you're going to lay it about where your mid-back would fall, and then taking your other block on the highest level, place it where your head would go. We're going to be taking this instead of Shavasana today, so scooting forward on the mat and rolling. See how my upper back is sinking on top and the head falls on the mat, on the block. Our feet are together, our knees are falling away from each other, and we're rolling our shoulders down over the block, opening our hearts, opening our hips, surrendering our whole front body to the universe, feeling this opening, receiving, imagining healing light is coming into each chakra as it's open to receiving here, into our root, our sense of security and self, into our sacral, our emotions, our sexuality, into our solar, where we feel that willpower, that push, that fire in us to do all that we do, into our hearts, opening for unconditional love and surrender, into the throat, feeling your truth, speaking your truth, to the third eye, our intuition and our wisdom, all the way to our crown, which surrounds our entire being and aura, knowing we are guided and supported by all angels and divine. Then slowly tuck the chin, remove the top block from the head, and press in your hands, gently sitting up, removing the other block, meeting in a seated position. Closing our eyes, taking a deep breath, arms overhead, and then hands down to heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Namaste. If you enjoyed today's class, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And I will see you all on my next video.